Hello and welcome to Okawa Book Club podcast. I'm your host, John. In this episode, we would like to share your thoughts on why we recommend reading What is Happy Science? What is Happy Science is the best selection of Master Ryuho Okawa's early lectures in the first volume, which carries the contents of 5 public lectures given on March 5th, 1989 to July 8th, 1989 in Japan. The table of contents are Chapter 1, Changes of the Truth Civilization. Chapter 2, What is Happy Science? Chapter 3, The Discovery of Enlightenment. Chapter 4, Secrets of the Multidimensional Universe. Chapter 5, The Ultimate Self-Realization. So this book is really interesting. So what is Happy Science? The title of this is almost very broad, and yet the details of what's revealed in this book are absolutely remarkable. And so, for example, the first chapter, Changes of the Truth Civilization, reveals the incredible narratives of the past lives of Jesus. And so, this is information that really has never been discussed elsewhere, to my knowledge. Especially, so there are 3 past lives of Jesus discussed. The first one discussed is Ryuho, who was born in Egypt more than 4,000 years ago. The second was Krishna, who was born in India 7,000 years ago. And the third being Agasha, who was the king of Atlantis, born 11,000 years ago. So the idea, there are certain branches of Hinduism who have recognized Krishna as an incarnation of Jesus, or who consider them to be the same, but the other 2 incarnations discussed in this chapter, Ryuho and Agasha, I have never come across this information elsewhere, and I found this to be incredibly profound. And when you read this chapter, what you will discover is that there is a synchronicity in the narrative of the soul of Jesus and the way that he is incarnated and in the work that he has done in different incarnations. So I think anybody who considers themselves to be a Christian would absolutely benefit from studying this, or anybody, even if you're not a Christian now, but like myself, I was born as a Christian, and then I expanded that. And I think that this, while not, this is expanding upon the nature of Jesus, but at the same time also placing it into its proper context within the cosmic framework and the multidimensional universe. On that note, I think another chapter in this book that really, the 4th chapter, The Secrets of the Multidimensional Universe, is absolutely profound, because it really describes the nature of the human soul. There was a line at the beginning of that chapter, which it's on page 125, and it says, "In the past, I have also talked about something like this. The essence of a human being can contract to a point and expand to infinity. It means that a human being can essentially contract to a single point, like closing your hand, and it can expand infinitely, like opening your hand." And this point is elaborated upon throughout this chapter. And in the 4th section of this chapter, where it's describing the nature of the soul as realizing its oneness with the universe, essentially, there are different levels of this explained in detail, such as your soul ascending high above and seeing the planet Earth below, your consciousness expanding to the size of a galaxy, and seeing the universe as one living entity. And so, this is incredibly profound. And when you read this and you read the details of what these states of consciousness look like and feel like, it really does awaken something in your soul. Similarly to when you're reading the first chapter of the book and you're reading about the past incarnations of Jesus and considering the influence of Christianity throughout Western civilization, I think that there is something in our soul that is going to respond to that. And so I think the title of this book, What is Happy Science, I think that it gets revealed the meaning of that question is revealed by reading it and by contemplating the contents of this book. And I think that there's this synchronicity of the teachings of happy science reaching into your soul and stirring something to life in a world that is often antithetical to that. And that is the nature of what reading this book at least did for me, which was very profound. And so the other chapters, there is the discovery of enlightenment, which explains what enlightenment is, the path to enlightenment. And it explains this in a simple and accessible language. It is great because I think the concept of enlightenment can often be very overcomplicated and bogged down with jargon in a lot of Buddhist literature. And I think that's an important principle of the happy science teachings, is that these teachings are intended for everybody. So they're not written necessarily for the specialist who's meditating 10 hours a day, although that person will benefit from them. They're also written for the person who's maybe never meditated and is just curious and feels something in their soul yearning for more. And the final chapter, the ultimate self-realization, discusses the truth about Hermes, who's often viewed as Zeus's son in Greek mythology. But in this chapter, it's revealed that Hermes' existence actually predated Zeus, and he was an incarnation of God or Buddha, essentially, preaching love and progress to human civilization on Earth. And Hermes' teachings of love influenced Jesus, and his teachings of progress shaped Western civilization. So once again, very profound at the level of our soul in the deepest sense, but also in a way that contextualizes our existence and brings order and illuminates what can otherwise be, I think, a very dark world where things are, as we're told in our everyday lives, don't really have any particular order. And I think all of that really captures the essence of what happy science is. What is Happy Science is available at major bookstores such as Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. For more information, please visit okawabooks.com. That's all for today. Thank you for listening.